Here. I'm your mom today. Come on now. Thank you.
You know, this is a great tree.
Welcome.
There you go.
Great. Yeah, so today this area has been hit with what's called the T-shot borer pest. That T-shot borer pest comes with drought. You know how we've had a really tough challenge with water resources lately? So a lot of the trees that were susceptible were the trees that weren't getting enough water. So the beetles enter in through the bark when the inner part of the tree isn't moist, and so some of the trees that we're replacing today were hit by this beetle, and we really want to help the county manage this issue. So we're today we're planting, but other days we're measuring. We're doing the diameter at breast height, the root collar, trying to capture the species and the location of the tree, so that we have an index of everything at Whittier Narrows, and that we can help the county prioritize which trees to take care of when and why, and all be part of like a community science project. So I hope that you come back again and also help us with the measurement portion. So exciting to meet you. So yeah, we're going to be planting a number of trees throughout the day, and the first area is right over there. So you probably see Danny with the big hat. You can head in that direction. And hopefully you'll meet some new friends today. There's multiple colleges, multiple high schools, and then your awesome group. So make sure to reach out to someone who you haven't met before and find out where they're from so that you can meet with your friends. Okay? Cool. At least one new place that you didn't know before.
Exactly.
Head over.
Head out to find the gentleman. His name is
Danny and Sadie.
Danny and
Sadie.
Sadie. Oh, how cool! Like Sadie Hall.
Good morning.
You're coming with us?
Yeah. Tree Titans. Yeah, that's what she said. Oh,
Yeah.
it wasn't back.
Hey, are you Sadie?
Yes, I'm
Hi,
Sadie.
this is the Tree Titans from Washington Middle School.
Oh,
They've been
awesome.
learning about saving trees and caring for them, and they're trying to do fundraising to get trees at our school.
Oh, great. That's incredible. The Tree Titans. I love that name.
They made it up.
That's great. That's awesome, guys. Well, I'm a design associate at Amigos Rios. Danny is a fellow, right?
Hi, Danny.
And
Hi, good morning.
we have Andrew on his way over. He's going to give you a planting demonstration. But I can tell you guys for a second a little bit about our organization. I started working for Amigos in December. We're an urban greening organization, and we do a lot of work along the Rio Hondo and St. Gabriel rivers, and we're curators of what's called the Emerald Necklace. Have you guys heard about the Emerald Necklace? Nobody has? So we're standing in Whittier Narrows, and it's one of the biggest jewels of the Emerald Necklace. But the Emerald Necklace is a system of parks and trails. It's about 17.5 miles long, and it's along the Rio Hondo and San Gabriel rivers. And what we do is we find underutilized areas, places that are vacant or dump sites, and we transform those into parks for the surrounding communities. And we plant native plants, and we put in play equipment, we put down easy paths, and we do the best we can to increase the water percolation in that area. Do you guys know what water percolation is? Anybody? No? So what that means is, right now, have you guys ever seen the LA River after it rains, how it floods? So what happens is when it rains, all of that rain goes down into the storm gutters. It goes straight out into the LA River and then out into the ocean. What we're trying to do is to capture that water and let it soak into the soil by building bioswales and other types of water infiltration. So that's what we do at Amigos, and there goes Andrew. Is he coming back?
He is coming back.
Okay, cool. So I think Andrew's going to give you guys a planting demonstration. Danny's built this awesome hole for us, and he's testing right now to make sure that, that the tree fits.
Okay.
So,
We're good.
Cool.
Andrew.
Hey guys, thank you for coming. Who here has planted a tree before? Have any of you guys planted trees before? When you were little? When you were little? Alright, do you guys want to stand on this side? That way the sun's not hitting you guys in the eyes. That way you guys can see a little better.
So I'm like cutting grass?
Yeah. So, when we first approach a tree, the trees are already located kind of where we want them. So wherever you see the tree, that's where we want it to be planted. So like let's say we were starting at this tree. This is a walking demo, so we'll be going back and forth. So you guys want to come over here real quick? Alright, so the trees come, as you'll see, in all shapes and sizes. There's some really big ones, there's some like skinnier ones, there's some that look like Christmas trees, all shapes and sizes. So when we approach the tree, it's going to kind of be in the open grass area. So the first thing we're going to want to do is remove the grass. And we're going to want to remove just the top, maybe first 4 inches of grass. So it's kind of going to come out like a pie when we dig it out. So we're not digging down, we're kind of angling it and digging just the first 4 inches off the ground. So it's kind of going to go like this, and then you slide it in on the side, and then you pull up. So slide and pull up, and then you'll do that all around the tree. So that's step number 1. And then step number 2 is we're going to want to remove it. You kind of see how this came out nice and soft, kind of like a pizza. It's all not too deep, 4 inches, and it comes out like a huge circle. And then after that, we're going to start digging down. So that's when we dig all this out. So after we have the first slice of pizza off, we'll call that, we'll do step number 2, and that's digging down. So digging down is the easiest, the hardest part, depending on what kind of soil you have. Don't get discouraged if it's really hard. We'll come around and help. We have some picks, there's some methods of using water, kind of to let it soak in and loosen up the soil. So we're going to dig down. And after we dig down, we're going to want to make sure it's deep enough for the tree to be, let's say, like 1 inch below its surrounding soil level. So there's one way you can check it. You can manually pick up the tree and put it in the hole. That's one way to check it. Or you can use your shovel as a measuring stick, turn your shovel upside down, kind of see where the soil level is, mark it with 2 fingers, and then there, place it in the hole. So if anything, you want your hole too deep instead of too high, because we don't want what we call volcanoes. Volcanoes are kind of when they're above the soil level. So, any questions so far?
How did you choose the types of trees?
That's a good question. That's a loaded question. So I'll kind of briefly mention it. So we're in Whittier Narrows Recreation Area. This is one of East LA County's biggest park. It's about 1,500 acres. And there's currently a little beetle, an invasive beetle that probably hitchhiked its way from China on a box pallet, a wooden box pallet, and is invading all these trees. So it's eating the bark, weakening it, and they're falling down. So, long story short, those are all the native trees that it's targeting. So we're trying to diversify our plant palette, diversify the types of trees we pick, and plant trees that we wouldn't normally plant here. So that way, the beetle doesn't target them, hopefully, but we still don't know. So if you want more information, we could talk about that later. But yeah, we're trying to save and plant the next generation of trees. That way, when you guys are 20, 30, 40, you can come back year after year and kind of see your tree grow. So that's the plan. And there's a lot of trees to plant. There's 100 trees to plant today. So there's no shortage of trees. But that doesn't mean rush. Definitely take your time. It's all about quality. Because if we don't plant the tree properly, it's not going to survive past the next 2 weeks. So take your time. Ask us as many questions as you want. We'll be around. Sadie, Danny, Marion, the team, you'll kind of see us making our way around. So yeah, good question. So the next thing we want to do is actually remove the tree from the bucket. So this is where you can work with a partner, because some of the trees are big. What we're gonna do is tip the tree over, make sure we're not hitting anyone, over the hole. That way all this excess dirt comes out. And then we're gonna push on the barrel. You can push. Some people like to be a little more aggressive and kind of slap it with their shovel. But what we're doing, if you guys want to come on in a little closer, what we're doing is we're creating air pockets on within the container of the tree. That way it loosens it. So once we push, hit the bottom, push and turn, the tree should slide out. You'll feel the soil loosen and it'll just slide out. So then with the partner, you choke the tree at the bottom, kind of pull it out, and it should come out nice and smooth like this. And so as you can see, this is the root ball of the tree. So this is the most valuable part of the tree, its life system. So for those of you guys that came a little late, we already measured to make sure it was too deep or deep enough. If anything, we want it a little too deep instead of too high. And so now when we place it in the hole, we can see, if you guys want to check around, it's a little deeper than the grass around it, and that's exactly at the level we want it. Does anyone know why we would want it that deep?
For the water to just go down to it?
Yes. So the way the trees are watered here is through an overhead sprinkler system. So if we have a little moat, essentially, water can pool and deep water the trees and hit the roots instead of kind of just hitting it and then running off. So this is the most important part. If anything, you want it too deep, then too high. So can we repeat that? Too deep? Too deep. Then too high.
Too high.
And that helps us. That way we don't have to go back and replant it. And it helps ensure the survival rate of your tree. So once the tree is in the ground, too deep, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to backfill the dirt we dug out. So this is pretty easy. We're just backfilling. But there is one key step. You're going to want to check for air pockets. Because if the oxygen concentration is too high at the roots, if there's too much air around the roots, that's not good for them. They don't like that. They want it nice and compact. So the way we check for that is we use the back of our shovel as a little pick and we compact around the holes. And you can see sometimes it falls in and it goes deep, and that's what we want. We want to make sure it's all compact. So we'll keep backfilling. While we're backfilling, because you guys will be working in groups of 3 or 4, some people can take this excess grass and kind of put it in the buckets, because then we'll take it to the green waste afterwards. And then once it's all dug, once it's all on the ground, once it's all compact, we're going to want to build a little sand castle around, because this is also going to help capture that overhead water. So we're going to build it all around, use all the excess dirt. If we were to fast forward, we'd kind of have a little, again, like a little moat, a little sand castle around the tree. And then once that's all done, we're going to come back, refill your bucket, or help us find water for you guys, and then fill in the last thing of water. So does anyone have any questions? I know that was a lot. We'll be around to help you guys.
If there's other dirt that we haven't put on, do we put it in the bucket or do we put it by the tree?
You could just use it to build the wall. So any
Just go ahead and build the wall as high as possible.
Yeah, build the wall as high as possible. Yes. And then we will have rakes. We have big plastic rakes. So if you guys want, we can get you those. So we have rakes, picks, shovels, buckets, gloves. Everyone has gloves. And if you guys have questions, we have questions. So unless anyone has questions now, it's kind of like a scavenger hunt. We're working along this path today, not the one closest to us, the one further away from us, and we're planting all along it. So yeah, definitely feel free to explore all the trees. Thank you guys.
Thumbs up. Nicely done. So tell me, what have you learned about trees so far today while we're taking a moment of break?
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. Very hard.
It's tough work, and some spots you might have to add some water to soften up the dirt.
And what did you feel when you got your first tree planted?
Yeah, it's like leaving something behind.
Oh, triumphant.
Oh, say that again.
It's like leaving something on this behind on this earth that everyone will remember.
And enjoy. What do you think, Yuko?
What I think.
Planting a tree.
Planting the tree, I felt really like I feel like really like you guys inspired to like plant more trees.
That is so cool. What about you two?
Hard work and people thank us later, and then we can come back and just look at the trees we planted.
Thank you.